Hey folks, how you doing? This is Marty, and I am here with a video response to my friend Ben Brainsmasher, who just put up a discussion video called "Do You Download MP3s?" And within his topic of discussion, he covers a lot of ground, a lot of things that I feel pretty passionate about, being a lifelong music lover, collector, uh, label guy. Um, and yeah, I mean, I scribbled down a whole page worth of notes here to go through Ben's questions and thoughts, and I'm going to try to get through this. It's going to probably be scattered and a little disjointed. A lot of this stuff I've already discussed on my channel before, but first up, do I download music? The answer is no. I did. I used to. When the internet first got started, many years ago, there was a site called Audio Galaxy that I thought was fucking awesome. And being a musical seeker, and just I just needed to be fed knowledge on what I was into, and I would download a lot of demos I missed, a lot of live performances. I tried to use it for good instead of evil back in those days, and it helped me with the things I did. I've always had Worm Gear Zine, and we started that in '95. I was a writer for Metal Maniacs several different times throughout its era. It was a way to keep on top of what was going on and being knowledgeable when I was writing stuff. That was an excuse, basically. Then it moved to Soulseek, and I started in on Soulseek. And just like a music collector, I needed to hear things. I wanted to hear things, and I was also doing. Me and a friend of mine were doing binder and recordings, and I noticed, for instance, Celestial's Desolate North CD that I had just released pop up on there. I'm like, wow, someone liked my release enough to put it to their Soulseek. It felt like we have arrived, people were interested. Then I started to notice a couple days later, it would be on 5 or 6 other guys' lists, because with Soulseek you could subscribe to people, essentially. And then next week there would be 10 or 20, and then it started to spread like a cancer. And I started to notice my sales for that album started to tank. Whether it was a good album or not, I mean, I like it, or I wouldn't have put it out. But the main point of it is here that illegal digital downloads were hurting the sales. And I started to look at my own practices. I mean, I firsthand noticed then and there what downloading could do. And then I started looking at my own practices. I'd go to bed, I'd find a bunch of stuff that I wanted to hear. I would queue up 10 or 15 records, I'd go to sleep, and the next morning they'd all be in my computer. To this day, there is shit in my computer that I have not listened to. It just downloading that much music and having no emotional or monetary connection to the music made it worthless, essentially. It made it musical welfare. Do I need to hear everything that's put out? No. And it is a lot of people that think they do, and they are entitled to. This new form of musical entitlement has greatly impacted the music industry. Some of the big labels, yeah, maybe all the price gouging over the years, maybe they got it coming. Maybe they got it coming. But does it mean that you're entitled to hear something just because it's there for the taking? No. You're not. So what do? How did I break the chains? Well, I stopped downloading. And it wasn't hard. I found myself being upset with myself for downloading so much music. Yes, because I have been at this for so long and I prefer tangible media, I would buy 80% of the shit that I downloaded that I liked. Did it make it as fun? Did it make it as exciting to buy music? No, it did not. It almost felt like something I had to do to justify downloading. So, being an older guy, I miss the days, and I've talked about this on my channel before, I miss the days of reading a review, wondering what the band sounds like, finding it at a store, picking it up, being excited, opening it up, putting it in the car deck, and hearing that music for the first time. It greatly impacted the buying experience, the hearing music for the first time experience. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up. I don't get that with MP3s or downloads. It totally demystifies the thrill of buying and acquiring music. So, these days I'm back to pretty much exclusively blind buying. I mean, a lot of you are like, "Oh, it's crazy. Why would you do that?" Yeah, there's times I've maybe checked something out on YouTube for a minute, or Canyon showed the Miss Artham records one day and showed like a 30-second clip, and I heard that 30-second clip and went, "Wow, that sounds up my alley," and I went and I bought both records on the spot. In that aspect, it's good, but I did not immerse myself in that music before buying it. Trust me, blind buys, yeah, you're gonna buy some shit. You're gonna buy some great stuff that's gonna change your thought process. It's gonna change your world, and it makes that tangible media much more personal and important to you if you've invested the money in it, you didn't research it, and it does something to you. That's a good thing. And a lot of the internet's modern advances and conveniences, that is one thing it has killed, is that personal instant connection to new music. He also talks what is the point of making music? Should artists worry about being paid? He said if they expect to be paid, he doesn't want to hear their music. Ultimately, it does not matter if an artist wants to get paid or not. Should they get paid? Yes, they should. If the album has been released, they have put it out there. Bandcamp's a good thing. You can listen to something before you buy. And I've never bought an MP3 off of Bandcamp, but I have previewed stuff and bought the physical media from a band. I think downloads to collect MP3s is pointless. It's pointless. It's ones and zeros. Yeah, it's ones and zeros on a CD as well, but it sounds better on a CD. If your hard drive takes a complete shit, you can look back and see that you haven't lost anything other than time and loading it back into your computer. But should artists get paid? I work with a lot of bands, and a lot of these bands, they aren't making music. They do have something to say. They feel the music in their hearts. They want to share it with people. But once you enter into a stage where you are on a label, you should get paid. Through your CD sales, you should get a cut of it. Your digital downloads, your Bandcamp page, yes, you should get paid. Yeah, it is a weird form of promotion to have your album shared and download for free. It helps bring you to a certain level. Maybe more people come and see you live, which is where a band truly makes their money. Selling merch at a show. But the idea that a band should not be paid because of the internet is kind of ridiculous. It's a hard fight for bands. It's a hard fight for labels to make money in doing this. And this whole level of, as I've said it before, musical welfare has permeated people's mindsets. Well, I should hear this, or I should have this because it's there for free. You need to think about what you're doing. You need to think about who you're affecting. Me as a label guy, I've invested piles of money, bunch of debt that I will probably never pay off as long as I live. Which, I'm not looking for woe is me here. It's the reality of it. And I don't put out music that I don't believe in, for one, and I don't put out music just to have it sit in my basement. Yet everybody online has it because they downloaded it illegally. That's another point. And moving on here, like I said, I got a whole page full of notes. I could probably talk about this thing all fucking day, but what has the internet done? I'm going to ask that question. What has the internet done? There's a lot of good points. You know, communication. It's easier to talk to people. Instantaneous connection to people. Buying music is instant. You don't have to worry about if a store is going to get it. You know, I miss the brick and mortar store, and it has taken a beating. But thanks to vinyl, it's coming back. But it's easy to collect music online now because there are a million distros that have good shipping, and they can get you your music. You click to buy something, chances are 4 days later you're going to have it. But the bad, it has de-emphasized the importance of metal journalism. People don't give a shit about reviews anymore. You know, this is coming from a guy that I used to pay a lot of attention to certain people that would write reviews. Jeff Wagner, all the old era of the Metal Maniacs guys, some zines here and there. You find yourself connecting with a writer and their word is gold. You know, sometimes you're not going to agree with them after you buy something and maybe not like it. But the way MP3s aren't readily available online, metal journalism means nothing anymore. Magazines have fallen. Metal Maniacs is gone. The U.S. metal publication scene is in a state of non-existence other than Decibel, which has its place. It has an important place, but do people really care that much about it? It's killed CD sales. The internet has killed CD sales because people, the younger generation, is fine with a hard drive full of ones and zeros. Here's another big one, and it also leads back to some things I've already said, but album leaks. What does it do? When the Vukari I'm putting out, it should be out yesterday, but it's still not in from the plan, but Vukari's Divination. Fantastic album. 2 days after posting it for promos to the metal press, the album was leaked. 2 days. And spread all through the internet. What does this do? People think they're helping. Oh, we're helping spread the word. No, you're not. You're killing people's anticipation for a release. And the excitement they get for buying something and they haven't heard before, or maybe only heard snippets of. It undermines a label's promotional tactics. It undermines building, trying to build up people's anticipation for a release. And when it's just out there for free, they download it. Yeah, half of these people, half maybe, will buy the CD. But that's if. They might buy the CD. They say, well, I'll buy it eventually. You know, me as a record label, I need... The first strike of a new album is when the sales are usually the best. And if people are lackadaisical saying, oh, I'll get it eventually, I'll get it eventually, I'll get it eventually. You know, 6 months down the road, if they buy it, awesome. But I need a return on investment to continue to keep putting out albums and help supporting bands and help paying bands. Yes, I pay bands. It's a slow process. It takes a while, you know, a quarter to generate some sort of revenue to pay back to the bands. Album leaks are bad. And if you see, you know, like the new Dark Throne is going to be coming out, and I'm sure 2 days after it's promoted, it'll be all over the internet. Do you really need to hear? I mean, you're going to buy it anyway. Why download it? Why perpetuate the cycle? Ben also asked, what would you do if there was no internet? Tomorrow, the internet is gone. Boom, gone. For me, I came from an era where there was no internet. I remember writing letters to bands. I remember writing letters to fans. Pen pals. Call it pen pals, as stupid as that sounds. It doesn't matter. It's what it was. Metal pen pals. I tape traded. How is tape trading different from file sharing? It's different. It isn't just a click, 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 mine. It is buying tapes, sitting down, making mixtapes, sitting down, recording a CD onto a tape, getting other stuff. I have a whole drawer full of tapes. I did tape trading back in the day. 90% of that stuff I bought. But this is also during a time when, like, the Norwegian black metal scene was exploding, and CDs were $25 to get as import from overseas. This day is kind of here again. It is expensive to buy music from overseas because of the inflated shipping. But would I be able to survive without the internet? Yes, I know how to do it. For my label, I would need to see If the internet was no more, metal publications will become important again. Magazines will become very important again. I would think you would see more springing up. And the internet has built such a strong following of metal for the metal community. I think new magazines starting up now, without the internet to slow them down or hinder their progress, I think magazines would become a lot more important. So that me as a record label would have to advertise, but I would be able to afford to advertise because more people would be buying actual music from me. Black Metal Press becomes important. Tape trades, letters, pick up, use the phone. It's a good thing. Mail order lists. I put my entire catalog on a mail order list and send it out to a mailing list that I would have to probably rebuild because everything now is email, but people would have to get back in touch and get a mail order catalog. I used to go crazy for the Relapse mail order catalog, crazy for the Full Moon Productions catalog, crazy for the Necropolis Records catalog, and I would just go through and highlight a million things that I could never afford, but slowly but surely I would pick through and get the things that I needed and wanted. And again, you start buying music on, it's on this label, it must be good, it must have, this label has this certain sound, I know it's going to be quality. And with the internet, everybody's got a computer. Everybody wants to make their own music. Everybody puts up their crappy garage, bedroom black metal band. And there are so many small labels that have sprouted up because of the internet that support them. It is hard to find good quality music. You have to do some digging, which the positive aspect of downloading is you get to try to hear everything. But again, do you need to? Should you have the right to hear everything? I don't think so. Some shit's meant to not be heard. Some shit isn't worth hearing. The more you dig, the more effective you get in finding what you want. The more effective you know what you want, you start to trust your friends, you start to trust certain people, writers. It's all interlaced, and the death of the internet, it's never going to happen. The internet's going to, unless there's a cataclysmic infrastructure collapse in the US and Europe. The internet is the way it is now, and for all of its bad, and there is a lot of bad when it comes to music promotion and sales, there is a lot of good. Like pornography, good. Stealing music, bad. But anyway, I rattled on, and I could go on forever, and I would hope to inspire some discussion, and if anything, have some of you people maybe think about your practices. Are you an avid downloader of music that you have no intention of ever buying? Think about the impact. That's all I gotta say. It does affect people. Believe it or not. Am I saying, woe is me, cry, cry, cry? No, I love what I do. I love putting out music. I love supporting bands. The bands that I have become friends with, I love helping them out. Am I a big label? No, I'm not.